So how do you want to start this today?
I was about to ask you the same question, but I suppose we just started, didn't we?
Yeah.
Episodes?
Maybe we should shoot that out. 140.
Yeah, I was going to say. 140 episodes of
Learning.
Yeah.
Hey, pal.
Good news, guys.
Good, man. Another busy week in aviation. Should we jump into it?
Has been, eh? Yeah.
Some major aircraft orders. We've spoken about Ryanair recently, Turkish. There's some more on the cards. Emirates and Indigo. Yeah. So these orders are just, they're big news because they're such big orders. What is it for Indigo? 500 Airbus aircraft they're looking at ordering. So that'll be the 320 family of aircraft. And then Emirates as well, they're looking at 150 wide bodies of either the Airbus or the Boeing. So major orders. And again, every week we talk about it, and I suppose it can get a bit boring, but not to the pilots, because you add 500 aircraft or even 150 for Emirates. How many more pilots do Emirates need? How many more crew do they need to actually operate those aircraft? So it's a remarkable thing. And Emirates very rarely say something and then not go and do it. So yeah. I think it's a given.
No, 100%. I mean, every time you read news like this, you can't help but get excited, because essentially it just means growth and opportunity. I was just, while you were saying that, I was trying to imagine what it must be like if you work in that office of aircraft sales.
Yeah.
In walks in Emirates or Indigo for that matter.
Who got that order?
Who was that one guy that's about to cash in on that commission?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Must be pretty exciting. It's massive. I mean,
interesting. Yeah, in the article, Indigo currently also wet leasing 3 Boeing 777-300 ERs from Turkish. Didn't actually realize that they had any wide body aircraft there. So they're massive. Eh?
No, they're huge. No, they're massive. And again, I suppose we mustn't be stupid. They're ordering aircraft, but the ancillary effects that it has on the industry. I mean, so you need more pilots. That means there needs to be more training.
Yeah.
There's more cabin crew required, more ground staff required. There's massive impacts to these orders. So heavily exciting, and quite lucky to see. A lot of these announcements are apparently going to be made at there's 2 big air shows coming up very soon.
Yeah, what is coming up?
Paris Air Show.
Yeah, Paris.
And there's another one. It's in the notes here somewhere.
When is Dubai? Later in the year?
I think it is, November.
That'll be a cool one to
2
go
massive air shows, this is where normally when we see all the big news come out. So
yeah.
Sorry, did you just say we're going to Dubai at the end of the year?
I think that could be on the cards. Hey,
sounds like a plan.
No, actually, you know what? I think it's a good idea. I think we should make that happen. Maybe we put up a little Bryan Air stand there in Dubai.
Yeah, why not?
For the air show.
Yeah.
I think of all the air shows of the last few years, that's been the one that has interests me the most from a sort of new age vibe point of view. There seems to be a lot going on at that Dubai air show. Yeah,
because the Middle East, they obviously do place a lot of emphasis on tech. A lot of these seating concepts, come out of these air shows and expos there as well.
Tech plays such a big role in aviation these days. So Dubai.
Yeah.
Staying in the UAE, Riyadh Air's new livery is insane.
It's insane.
It's beautiful.
It looks like it actually belongs on a Formula One car.
Oh, I think it's stunning. It really is beautiful. First of 2, I believe. So stand by. I don't know what the other one is, but it really looks good. It always looks better when it's in the hangar under those lights.
Yeah.
But looking forward to seeing what the next one is. I don't know if you've seen that one.
It's an awesome color. The logo and the livery, all very complimentary. And takes that sleek-looking 787 and makes it look even sleeker.
Looks proper.
But apparently they're going to be demonstrating one of those 787s at the upcoming Paris Air Show again.
Yeah.
In those colors. So it'd be quite cool to see what it looks like.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. But yeah, anyway, again, we talk about the whole big aircraft orders and, the effect that it has on our industry and our mates and ex-colleagues and everyone around the world. You talk about 500 aircraft for Indigo, 150 or so wide bodies for Emirates, and then that's not even talking about Riyadh.
Yeah.
And you can go onto Riyadh's website. I mean, there's employment opportunities there. So go and have a look. Riyadh, you can actually now, if you're interested, go and put your name in the hat. There's pilot career opportunities up there already. I believe they've started employing engineers and that already. There's marketing opportunities. There's all sorts of opportunities there. It's
initially very often get distracted by they're saying Riyadh is expected to start commercial operations in early 2025, and most people will look at it and think, oh, that's too far in the future.
Oh,
it's actually around the corner.
Yeah,
and there is
training and everything's going to happen before then.
Exactly. I mean, so they're expecting to launch in a year and a half's time or so, and I mean they're planning on having 100 destinations by 2030.
Yeah,
that's only 7 years away.
That's crazy. I like the whole everything they're creating. They speak about the livery is described as a perfect blend of cutting-edge technology and timeless elegance, setting it apart from the conventional white fuselages and bold lettering typically found on other airlines. Having a bit of a dig there, I suppose, at Emirates. So it's gonna be.
They're coming out a bit punchy.
They are. I like it.
Yeah, very cool.
I dig it. If I was going to have an airline, if Bryan Air ever becomes a real airline one day, it's going to be that color. No, very cool. Again, staying in the UAE, so Qatar Airways CEO says first class is no longer worth it. So on the new 777X's aircraft, they are not going to offer first class seating. You know why? It's because their Q suite business class is so bloody good that first class is not required anymore.
So they're actually, willing to just say, well, screw it.
Yeah.
There's no need. Financially doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. So
it's quite cool, actually.
They're going to ditch it.
They're challenging the whole, first class.
Yeah, I think there's too many options. Yeah. If you look at, around the world, you got the economy, premium economy, business first. It's a little bit ridiculous.
Let's face it. If you're going to fly first class, chances are you probably got the money to have your own Global Express, G5, whatever you've got the bucks to have your own private jet, which I think is what we're seeing more of nowadays.
Yeah.
There's way more private jets flying around as the tree huggers in Europe will tell you.
Yeah. Did you see the
protesting?
Did you see the poor oak citation?
Painting it orange.
Painting it orange in Germany.
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people?
Babe, it's just falling into.
I don't know. It's just.
Look, I could go down a rabbit hole here of ranting and raving about woke bullshit that might get this video pulled.
Yeah.
So let me stay safe. But yeah, it's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, the poor oak's bloody citation. Painted fully orange. I don't know. I'll try and find that post somewhere. I don't have it on me at the moment.
Yeah, I saw that, but
I think Duncan posted it on Fly Africa. You can check it out there. Russian airspace challenges. Despite recent improvements in Chinese air travel, United CEO Scott Kirby expressed concern about uncertainty on Asian routes. And obviously all to do with the avoidance of Russian airspace by airlines due to the conflict obviously going on in Ukraine. So the big issue here is what happens if there is an onboard emergency and they need to divert to the nearest suitable airport.
It's a big problem.
And they got to go into Russia, and there's US citizens on board. So United CEO, one of the first guys to stand up and say, this is a problem.
Yeah.
So, expect other airlines to start voicing concerns. Obviously, it's what do you do in that situation? Nearest suitable airport doesn't always mean it's the closest airfield, but if you got smoke in the cabin or something like that, you're going to divert.
Depends on the circumstances at the time. But if you've got to get that area on the ground, you've got to get it on the ground.
Yeah.
And, the decision-making model is going to be kind of interesting. Like, do we all just burn because we're too shit scared to land on Russian soil, or land and become Russian prisoners of war? Or will that happen? I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. But, there's obviously wars going on longer than you would like. And that airspace, it's a hell of a big airspace. Eh?
It's massive.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they just actually sort this shit out now? Why can't...
Do you want to get political?
No, I don't. I suppose I'm looking for a shortcut to making things easy.
Yeah.
And,
but you're not a politician.
No, I'm not. So let's talk about
something else. ATC strikes. So Willie Walsh, as director of IATA, he's criticized the French now for the disruption caused by air traffic controller strikes in the country. These strikes go on every year. It is a major problem, causes mass chaos. I know you were stuck in France a couple of years ago. And but I quite liked his whole angle on this thing. He stated that the French government is harming the environment by failing to facilitate flights during the strikes. So you've got all this stuff going on. They, because no aircraft can overfly France.
Yeah.
So you bypassing France as well. You got China, you bypassing. Russia, and now France as well. And you can't even overfly it. And then he's now criticized the decision by the French government to ban domestic flights where a viable train alternative exists. But you've now got aircraft flying an extra, I don't know how many miles, to avoid a French airspace, which is affecting the environment.
Yeah, well, it's airlines like Ryanair, for instance, are being forced to divert or cancel flights. And the flights that are actually diverting are flying an extra 370 kilometers each to avoid the strike. So he's got a point.
That's crazy. I mean Ryanair, they canceled 3,700 flights. Well, 4,000 flights.
Over 4,000
flights.
All because of this.
And there's actually a petition out there, the link in the show notes, but they're trying to get this to stop because it's happening every year. It causes mass disruption. And it's terrible for the passengers, man. It really is. You got holidays planned, you got business trips planned, and
it's European summer now. It's
that's why they do it.
Massively busy time in aviation over there, and now these Muppets want to do this. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Leave it there. Profitability forecast doubles for the airline industry. So IATA revised its profit forecast for the airline industry in 2023 to 9.8 billion USD, significant increase from the previous predicted 4.7 billion that was in December last year. Obviously, steady demand increase and lower fuel costs, making 2023 the first profitable year since the pandemic.
Again, a massive positive angle to what's happened and how the industry's recovered in the last couple of years. Eh?
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, who would have thought?
Hey?
Of all the
doom and gloom
nonsense we were talking about for so long.
Yeah. Less than 2 years down the line, we, talking about
major profits. Yeah. So that's really good. African news.
You're not getting away from the politics in this episode, cuz. Let's be honest.
Oh shit. Yeah. Wow. What's the headline that I've got up there for you, pal?
John Steenhuisen throws a hissy fit because he missed his flight on Lyft the other day.
Yeah.
Did you see his rant on Twitter?
Yeah. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, because it's
what a puss. Hey?
Well, yeah, him and the rest of the gang in South Africa.
What are these politicians on about? And what gives them the sense of, who's this oak anyway? What's he done?
Yeah, he's done fuck all. Nothing.
Always see this guy ranting and raving on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what happened? Yeah, he missed a Lyft flight.
Yeah.
And then he went on to Twitter to really moan about it and worst airline in South Africa and all the rest.
Has the audacity to even make a Muppet comment to say that even SAA is better.
Is that what he said?
He said in that even SAA is better. I'm like, my man, now you need to get your head checked because come on.
And evidently he arrived late.
Yeah.
He missed the flight. That was it.
I was trying to put the blame on the airline. And come on, man.
But it's just such a poor thing for a leader of the country in certain ways. He's a leader of a party that's in opposition to the leadership party, but in some ways he's a leader of the country to actually go and then pick on an airline after everything the airline industry has actually been through. And I mean, he was late for the bloody flight. I just don't get this whole thing with the politicians and the rest of us.
Yeah.
Who the hell they think they actually are.
Exactly.
I mean, wind your neck and bro, you've done fuck all.
Yeah.
You've done fuck all.
Chances are you probably didn't even pay the proper price for the ticket anyway because you try to like weigh in on your I'm a politician discount, what anyway. Bullshit. But yeah, no, I totally agree. When I saw that, I just thought, what a numpty.
Yeah, like if he had achieved something and, things were a bit brighter, but what a...
And if you're going to rant and rave, try and make a bit more of an intelligent statement as well because SAA, I'm pretty sure, isn't that much better.
No, but they've just turned a profit. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, right.
Spurries, I'll put it up for you. They've...
Fake news.
No, it's legit, bro.
Bullshit.
SAA turns a profit. SAA reported a profit to National Treasury this financial year ending March 31st. 500 million ZARs, not even USD. But...
wasn't that a bit of a copy and paste from the Fly Safair spreadsheet? The numbers sound awfully similar.
First profitable year since 2010, 2011, when the carrier made 782 million. Profitable year. Paul.
Cuz.
It just doesn't make sense.
No. Bollocks.
You think so?
100%.
So it's not taking into account the expenses. What's a profitable year and what can you trust? Genuinely, what can you actually trust with something like that?
Exactly.
For a company that hasn't put out financials or doesn't put out financials when things are bad, only when you're making a profit in inverted commas.
Yeah. No, it's smoke and mirrors. It's the way it's done there. And I know when I saw that, I still had a fat chuckle. So I thought, if this comes up on the podcast, Parok's going to go down that SAA rabbit hole.
Yeah. Okay, let's leave it there. Let's go to something positive. Eswatini Air lands in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So first Cape Town flight, marking the airline's expansion into the South African city. Route provides 3 flights per week, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Will connect King Mswati 3rd International Airport and Cape Town. They're doing a good job, these guys. They're expanding little by little by little.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, those oaks deserve a high five. I mean, we've trained a lot of their crews. We know the Eswatini guys.
They're guys at the top. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, and I think they had a hell of a battle to get this whole operation up and going. And there's always been a lot of doubt thrown at whether they'll get this up and actually start running. And here they are. They're flying to Joburg, Harare, Durban, Cape Town. They're doing a swell job. It's early days, but they really, really have kicked it off well. And your high five to them. Seriously.
Yeah, good bunch of guys, and I wish them all the best. It's another option. It's been another option for pilots that want to stay in the Southern Africa region as well. So, good on them. Hope that carries on. No doubt it will. United Nigeria, they're growing around as well. They're looking at 10 Embraer 175s in the near future. That's in addition to the 145s that operate at the moment. So they're looking to go to Ghana, Angola. Of course, they come to South Africa, Niger Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, and Senegal.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Awesome.
So good on them.
Nice to see some growth there.
Another story here. Have you kept in touch with these fake pilot scams that have been going on?
There's a lot of them going on.
There's a lot.
These idiots that think that they can.
There's a few of them. There's this one happened now. They were targeting women in Natal, KwaZulu Natal.
Yeah.
So it's all about the man introduces himself as a Ravi Kumar.
Living in Los Angeles of California, and I'm a pilot in the United States.
A single airline pilot residing in LA. He sends out friend requests to a woman on Facebook, and during a chat on Messenger, he asks for a contact number. The women are then contacted via WhatsApp on a specific number, yeah. And after chatting to the victims for a few weeks, the man requests home addresses so he can send gifts. The woman was sent images of a box that contained $15,000, and the scammer then professes his love, promises to visit South Africa and marry the victims. Later, he requests 5,000 Rand daily on each occasion, explaining that the box packed with gifts and cash were being withheld at customs. He was stuck at the airport and his bank cards were lost. I think we're the wrong profession.
Shit, I don't know how you fall for that. But I mean,
yeah.
I suppose someone who doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
You know.
The women were collectively scammed out of 97,000 ZARs. Look, it's not a cool story because people were scammed, so you don't want to laugh at it. But
it is pretty sad. But I mean, did you go and read those messages that were posted on Facebook because there were actual screenshots of the messages that he sent.
What, he didn't sound like a pilot?
No, I mean, I couldn't spell for shit.
Yeah.
It was quite funny, but anyway, yeah.
There's another one going around as well. So what, you know, the whole issue with you want to buy something off Amazon and you always have to end up paying like import duties and stuff like that. So you see it's worth like $40, and by the time it's arrived
so you ask one of your pilot mates to collect
so
it.
one of your pilot mates, like we used to do with our mates at SAA, when you're doing a Washington flight, please can you bring back
the new iPhone,
a new Bose headset or something. And so they've cottoned on to this whole thing. So there's like a pilot now that will basically you give him, he gives you an address and you get your Bose headset sent to his address. And then he's going to drop it off in South Africa for you for a very, very small fee.
Yeah.
And of course, you lose your fee and you don't get your Bose headset. So, keep a lookout for that one.
Yeah, be careful. I mean, unfortunately, this industry just doesn't seim to get away from the scams. No. I mean, there's always going to be a crook out there. But we'll look out for them.
Yeah.
And we'll point them out.
Yeah, we'll point them out.
Yeah.
Some aviation safety. I want to add this as a new little heading, if I may. Paul?
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, so aviation safety. That unresponsive citation the other day. I don't know if you saw it there in Washington.
Pretty hectic.
Crashed into the mountains there by Montebello in Virginia. No survivors found at the crash site, and the plane deviated from its intended route from Elizabethtown, Tennessee to MacArthur Airport in Long Island, turning around over Long Island and flying directly over the U.S. Capitol. The only thing on the news, this whole thing happened, and then everything on the news, CNN, is so shit anyway, CNN. But it was all about the supersonic boom of the F-16s that were scrambled.
Yeah, I mean,
the Yanks are only going to fuck up once when something flies over the territory. So they went supersonic there and, blew a few windows out.
Yeah.
But I wonder what happened with that one. As always on the Bryan Air podcast, we'll not comment until the accident report is out.
Yeah, look, there's lots of speculation, but I mean, it looks like it was piloting cap.
Yeah, could have been heart attack, pressurization.
Any one of a million things. Sad things is it was the second citation in a very short space of time. There was one not so long ago that crashed near, it was in the Baltic Sea somewhere. Yeah. Same thing. So, yeah, pretty cuck, but...
No, never nice to see.
Must be pretty shit, though. Being an F-16 pilot, you get scrambled. Woohoo, I'm going supersonic 1 minute.
Yeah, then get told what to go and do.
To see an airplane, it's like, well, Jesus, these aren't going to make it. And
yeah, it's horrible.
Watch them prang.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next story, Bryan Air advisory.
Apple Vision Pro. I
Yep.
knew you weren't going to give that one a miss.
No ways.
Hey,
I think this is big.
this is massive.
So part of our role on the podcast is to try and bring elements of technology that we feel will have a impact going forward. Ryan, I don't think you as keen on this one as I am, but I truly believe that the Vision Pro is going to change things rather rapidly. In terms of, if you look at it at the moment, you sitting there with a MacBook, and you've got an iPad, and you've got your phone and all that infrastructure. You've got iCloud, and a lot of people in that same boat. And it doesn't matter if you're with Apple or whoever you're with. But the reality is, this device, it looks like, at first glance, that it could be Apple's greatest device, and it could replace all those other devices that I've just mentioned, because it seems to do everything your MacBook does, everything your iPad does, and you might look a bit antiquated sitting there typing on your phone, when not very long you're going to be typing just with your eyes and your eye tracking, because this thing is an absolute work of art.
Listen, the technology is redonkulous. It is insane. If you go and look at what they've released and what they've developed, it's insane. However, I do think that it is the version 1 of this, and as great as the technology is, it ain't pretty. You look like a bit of a knob sitting there with these ski goggles on.
Right,
it's not bad.
It wasn't so long ago when you had what was one of your first cell phones? A little Samsung or that small Nokia?
Yeah, that or that Ericsson. Geez, do you remember when Ericsson was?
Okay, so can you imagine back then walking around with an iPhone Max like you've got now with this big brick? You would also look like a right Charles.
True story.
So you've got it. It all depends on what's the in tech.
Yeah.
It's not so much, who determines that this is, you understand what I'm saying? If this is regarded as like the next, this is it, then,
No, I'd expect there'll be some more refinements to the aesthetics of the product.
You think so?
At least, yeah.
But
the technology, I have to agree, is just redonkulous.
It's pretty wild. I mean, just to give an example, so what you could do, you could have these Vision Pros on, and obviously it's got all your apps and everything there in front of you, but it's not going to take away your existing field of vision. So I can still be talking to you as I am now. Yeah. You're going to see a fake version of my eyes by the looks of it, because it's not actually.
If we're talking on FaceTime.
No, this is like if you hear. So that's not see-through.
If I'm sitting in front of you now and you wearing those goggles looking like a knob in front of me, I'll still see your eyes through the goggles.
Nuh-uh.
That's the way I understand.
No, it's actually, it looks like it's projected there. It's projected like that. But anyway, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The point is, I can actually now remove the environment from where we. So now let's for argument's
instead of
sake,
sitting in the podcast room, we could be sitting on the top of
Mount Everest.
Exactly.
Yeah, you could be in an aircraft watching a movie, and you could have as big a screen as you want in this projection. You can have this massive screen, and you can either bring the environment in, so you can have the aircraft seats and everything around you and all the people that are actually there, or you can turn a little knob and you can take them away, and you can put whatever background there you want. So you could have like you could be on the beach, you could be on this,
could be in space, you could be
wherever.
Yeah.
So that whole environment is gone, and you can tune in and tune out as much as you want. But what Apple are doing with this is they are trying to keep communication as normal as possible. So in other words, if you're talking to me now, I can actually see you there. It's not like you're not there. But with other VR goggles, I can't see you at all. It's totally blocked off. it's a remarkable piece of kit.
No, 100%.
It's going to make a big impact.
The technology is just insane. And I'm excited for this. I mean, look, the price tag.
What is it?
$3,500 US
USD.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's expensive, especially if you're paying in ZARs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it's a lot of saving.
It's heavy.
But I do agree. I think it's going to be a must-have. You definitely going to want that because I mean,
I don't think you're going to get away from not having that kit. I've never had to do this on the show, Ryan, but I have to take a piss.
Okay, see you in 5.
Okay.
We were talking about looking like knobs using Apple devices, and we were saying, look, the technology is out of this world.
I think everything, there's always a shift, and if you're ahead of that shift and know where it's going, then you can modify. Look, and we're not talking about this from a point of view where it's nice to have because you can watch nice movies on. But let's say you're in a particular industry that is going to rely on having the best tech or utilizing the best tech, then you need to follow the direction that technology is going. And I think Apple have just hit the nail on the head where they've combined AR and VR.
Yeah, what are they calling it? Like a mixed reality?
Yeah, because you can bring the reality in and out with that little turny knob thing. And that...
if you look at the way the world's going now, and most companies and businesses are relying so heavily on Teams meetings and all that kind of stuff, let's face it, Teams meetings and all that is all cool on your standard flat screen computer. But if you can
enhance that,
get a bit more immersive and get a bit more creative with the way you're trying to express your views or highlight your ideas or present something in a meeting, I think it's going to go far. So I'm looking forward to those coming out.
We'll keep a close eye on it and try.
Looking forward to being able to afford them.
Yeah, if you want to have a look, I left Marquez Brownlee.
Yeah, he's got a very, very good review.
A very good review. So that's in the show notes. Have a look and you can check what it's all about. Listener comments from last week. So we did a shoot the breeze last week. You and I enjoyed doing it. There's less prep involved. It's a little bit more sort of impromptu. See where it goes.
Bit of a hit and miss as to who likes it and who doesn't.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. Yeah. And you have to do these things to actually discover. So just to give, a bit of an indication, I think we've got more people that are, heavily focused on aviation that listen to us than we originally thought.
Yeah.
Because those episodes don't do as well as a standard aviation episode. And I can understand why. But it is still interesting to actually see. I think it would do better if you did it in conjunction with a aviation-based episode on a weekly basis. Yeah. So maybe you do one of those a month. Mike sent us a nice message or podcast. And Mike said he really likes it, should do it more often. And
I think that's where the difference is. It's a bit different for the guys that know us really well.
I think
People that don't know us so much, especially in person, probably think, these guys are just going to talk shit again and
give it a skip.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is a nice, I think we will keep that going. Maybe once a month we'll do that. And, maybe on that week we release 2 episodes in that week. It's easily done. So we'll do that. The other thing Mike mentioned, he reckons the video should go on Spotify.
So few guys, Keegan G, he reckons definitely Spotify as well.
Yeah.
So
we'll get that going.
Try.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do it this week, but we gotta get that going. Yeah, it's a little bit of extra graft, but I think it'll be worth it. The more platforms it's on, I think the better. We are trying to grow the show to that 1,000 real listeners.
Yeah,
and that might be a way of doing it. I got a hell of a nice email from Kelvin Charman as well. Thanks, Kelvin. I'm going to get back to you, and basically about taking the opportunity of all the pilot opportunities that are out there at the moment, that it might not be this way forever. Certainly, it won't be this way forever. But we don't know when it's going to end, and that if you want to jump on that wave and ride it, you need to make sure that you've caught the wave that's going in the direction that you want to go. Because there's never been an opportunity like now to pivot to another part of the world with either yourself or your entire family. And don't wait, I think, is the message that Calvin was saying there. Opportunities are there, but you've got to go look for them, and you've still got to apply, and you've still got to go through the whole process to get wherever you want to be. You can't just sort of wait around and think that some pilot headhunter recruitment agency is going to come along and say, come here and here's everything you need. One of the things I'd really like to do, and I hope one of our listeners can actually do this for us, is to give our other listeners a bit of an indication of the process involved in moving to, in this particular case, Australia.
Yeah, we've had a lot of engagement with that. The guys, I think, have been listening to the podcast, and obviously we've been very vocal about all the companies that are coming out here to do road shows and attract South African pilots. So a lot of questions relating around the process, and what don't the guys know? I mean, how does it take, from the time you actually submit an application to actually getting the green light to go?
What pilots are like? They like to know, very methodical. They like to work in boxes. You complete that box, move to the next one.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to sort of come up with a
lot of guys, I suppose, also basing their decisions on whether or not to apply before with as much information as possible.
Yeah.
I think the guys are generally scared of making a dick of themselves by making an application, getting information afterwards, realizing maybe this is not for me, and then retracting it.
Yeah.
That's what the guys are trying to avoid. That's what I'm reading into this.
Yeah.
So if we can get some more Jen on that, then
we will pick up some Jen, and we will release it on the podcast in the coming months. There's no doubt. A lot of people asked the question on the show last week: do you watch the video as well as listen to the audio? Most people got back to me that said, but I only listen to the audio.
Yeah.
So audio is...
We don't dig watching Paracon.
No. I do ask if I only keep the camera angle on yours truly, will it make any difference? Everyone is so busy these days, and I think a lot of people listen to us in the car or even in the aircraft, and it's easy to listen on.
There's not a lot of time to sit and actually watch these two Muppets talk shit on YouTube.
Fumble around the camera angles as we go.
Yeah.
But so most people there, and old Gavin got hold of me for that one. Thanks, Gavin. More news on Qantas Link. So brilliant opportunity. Of course, Oz heavily in the news as an opportunity. And they need Dash, Q400, 300, and 200 pilots for their bases in Adelaide, Brisbane, Cairns, Melbourne, and Sydney. Starting salary equivalent to 90,000 ZAR a month. They're happy to take South African pilots that have the right experience. They will provide relocation support to Australia and arrange permanent Australian residency with a path to full citizenship.
Yeah.
And
another interesting question there, like how far does that equivalent of 90,000
go
South African randelas get you in Australia?
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
How
off
heavily
air.
are you going to get taxed in Australia on that money?
Sorry. Well, you're not going to be putting fuel in your generator.
That's
so
true.
There's probably and you're not going to be paying.
So your tax dollars
a few thousand rand a month for your security company to roam around your neighborhood at midnight.
Not paying for the municipality to fill potholes.
Yeah.
So,
or John Steenhuisen to be screaming in Parliament there. Yeah, DA is supporting the next show. Yeah. Look, if you want more info there, link in the notes. You can apply to Qantas Link. and go get the gen there for yourself. We'll provide as much info as we can. What I will tell you is every single person that has made the shift to Oz of late, whether they're flying for Qantas Link or
Air North
or wherever, they're all hell of a happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Probably not the worst decision you can make right now.
Probably not.
Yep.
So, yeah, check that out. And they will, when they're coming around later this month to conduct interviews. Huh?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And we might see you there. Not that we're going, but we might see you there.
We're in the vicinity.
We're in the vicinity. Upcoming events for the weekend, Ryan. Your Formula One team is not doing so well.
Ferrari. Not doing too well. Old Verstappen, on the other hand, is untouchable.
Max. Did you see him on the weekend there? He got the black and white flag.
Yeah, they were shitting on him. Like, Max, try and contain your stuff. Stay in between the white lines. And he was like,
yeah, whatever.
Who cares?
Yeah,
I'm so far ahead.
He's a beast.
He was about to lap himself at one stage. But
so no F1 this weekend, but there is a hell of a UFC fight. Oliveira, Dariush.
So that's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one, yeah.
I'll make sure to check it out.
They're two proper grapplers, so it's going to be a good fight, this one. Both of them need to win the fight. So if you want to start getting into UFC, this weekend is a decent one.
So just rally my votes on the right side and stand a chance at maybe winning a bet. Who am I leaning towards? Yeah,
I'm leaning towards Oliveira.
Okay.
Because his jiu-jitsu's on another level. But the other guys also. So
is it? Anybody's game.
It's anyone's game. What's interesting with the UFC, because a few people have commented lately, because I started looking at the UFC because we mentioned it on the show. What's nice with it is a bit like F1 in that, because a lot of people think it's like professional boxing, when there's one proper boxing fight every 2 years or something. I mean, when was the last big boxing fight? Ages ago. Yeah. I mean, Tyson Fury was ages ago. Yeah. Whereas with UFC, every weekend, there's an event
to look forward to,
and they're not always huge pay-per-view events, but every month there's a pay-per-view event. And but on SuperSport, you can check it out every week. There's something going on, and you actually get to know who's who, and it's quite a nice thing to watch. It's a hell of a sport. I mean, those guys are absolute assassins.
Yeah,
and to watch it there, it's pretty cool. So it is quite a nice sport to get into. So if you want to check that out, that's on this weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah,
make sure to check it out and make a few sports bets on Oliveira. I'm holding you.
Oliveira. Do you do sports betting?
No, never. But maybe not a good idea. It's not a bad idea to start, because I mean, if you want to save for a pair of Apple Vision Pros,
What is that? It's like 70 grand.
It's heavy, bro.
60. It's about 65,000.
It's 3/4 of what you could be earning in Australia.
Yeah, that's 1 month of flying in Oz. Yeah, after Sheila's taxed you. But yeah, pretty heavy going. Take the opportunity once again. Thanks to our active Patreon supporters. Seriously, couldn't do it without you guys. Duncan, Imre, John, Fran, John, Dale, Dino.
Listen, not only are they active Patreon supporters, but those guys take the time to engage with us every week. Say, guys, listen, we like the show, or guys, not so great. Wasn't your best, or whatever the case may be. But giving us positive feedback and the right amount of input, and we just appreciate that, value it, and again, thank you so much.
Yeah,
appreciate it. It's more about that than it isn't. It even is about the Patreon. Really.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The listener comments and the engagement for sure it is. So there's a lot of news this week. There's a lot of news coming next week. We are blessed for aviation news at the moment. Again, we've made some good progress, I think, in the way we're able to collect the news, not because of anything we've created, but there's some awesome tools out there. I can't tell you all our trade secrets, but it's making a big difference in the quality of the content that we're able to get and then report on. And we hope that that's making a difference to the show. Paul, thanks for being here. I know you're busy and kids and everything at home, but the podcast is such an important part of our week.
Of course, man. I look forward to this every single week. It's one of the best things we do. And yeah, it's a big job. Had a good time today, guys.
You too.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you on the next one.
Don't forget